Imagine a remote Bavarian farm in the dead of winter. It's 1922, the snow is thick, the isolation is absolute, and the silence is just deafening.
Oh yeah, it really sets the scene for a nightmare.
Exactly. This is Hinterkaifeck. Down in the barn and scattered inside the main house, an entire family of 6 has been brutally murdered. But here is the core horror of this story. The killer didn't just flee into the night.
No, they did the exact opposite, which is wild.
Right, they moved in. For days after the slaughter, the murderer lived secretly in the family's attic. They slept under the wooden roof. They actually went down to the barn to feed the farm animals.
And didn't they cook meals too, like using the family's own food?
Yes. They cooked meals in the kitchen while the bodies literally lay just rooms away. Neighbors passing by even saw smoke drifting from the chimney, and they heard the heavy thud of footsteps echoing from inside the house.
It is just so chilling to think about.
It really is. And then there's the final, most terrifying detail discovered by investigators. A set of footprints pressed deep into the winter snow. They led out of the dark woods, straight to the door of the farm.
But there were no footprints ever leading away.
None. Welcome to episode 04 of the Echoed Arrows podcast. Today, we are taking a custom-tailored deep dive into a stack of historical case files, modern investigative reports, and psychological data.
We're really trying to understand the anatomy of the impossible with this one.
Exactly. Our mission today is to explore history's most isolated mysteries and unpack the dark psychology of exactly why you cannot look away from them. There's a psychological reason you feel a literal itch to solve this.
Right, you're looking at a puzzle with a missing piece, and your brain just hates it.
It really does. We're going to break down the mechanics of these cases, but before we even analyze the data, I want you to lay down your baseline. Trust your instincts. What do you think happened at Hinterkaifeck? Leave a comment below.
It's such a visceral starting point.
Okay, let's unpack this. The violation of the home at Hinterkaifeck is terrifying on its own, but the psychological fortitude required to just remain at the scene, that completely breaks our understanding of criminal behavior.
It really does. When someone commits a crime of that magnitude, the adrenal response forces a massive fight or flight reaction. Nearly every biological imperative screams at the offender to flee the scene to avoid detection.
Right, but this person is cohabitating with the dead, tending to the livestock, building a fire in the hearth. It demonstrates a total absence of that biological panic. Hinterkaifeck is like a twisted bed and breakfast where the guest is the murderer.
That is a terrifying analogy, but it's accurate. The livestock detail is the one that really gets me, You commit this horrific act, and then you just go do the chores.
It's a bizarre domestic normalcy, layered over sheer brutality. But if you think about the mechanics of it, feeding cows might not have been a sign of madness. Hungry cows scream.
Oh, and if they scream, the neighbors come to check on the farm.
Exactly. So by feeding them, the killer is actually managing the environment to buy time, which is pure cold calculation.
It's an environment completely devoid of standard human logic.
Yeah.
And, when we look at tragedies, our minds naturally seek causality, action and reaction.
Right, making sense of the chaos.
Exactly. But in extreme, isolated environments, the absence of logic creates this cognitive vacuum. We are evolutionarily wired to seek patterns to ensure our own survival.
And when a pattern breaks, the brain goes into overdrives trying to fix the glitch.
Yes. We see this exact same brain-breaking suspension of logic in the 1959 Dyatlov Pass files. Going from the snows of 1922 Germany to the snows of 1959 Russia, the parallels are striking.
Everyone listening probably knows the baseline Dyatlov story. 9 highly experienced Soviet hikers, a tent slashed from the inside, and bodies found scattered in the snow. Some of them were barefoot, running into a negative 30 degrees Celsius blizzard.
Right, and looking at the modern source files, the Russian government's official explanation is a slab avalanche.
Yeah, and I have to push back on that. The physics of that just do not add up for me. If it was simply a slab avalanche, as officials claim, why deliberately cut the tent and run out half-naked into freezing temperatures?
Well, a slab avalanche isn't just a fluffy cascade of snow, it is like a tectonic shift. Imagine a massive, hard-packed block of ice weighing thousands of pounds suddenly dropping like a concrete ceiling onto the tent.
Okay, The acoustic terror of that crack in the dead of night would be deafening. I get that.
Exactly. You wouldn't have the time or the dexterity to untie the entrance of a tent. You would slash your way through the canvas because the roof is literally compressing your ribcage.
Wait, if a block of ice is dropping on me, I understand cutting the tent. But I don't run a mile into the woods without my boots. I mean, these were grade A outdoorsmen. They knew negative 30 degrees is a guaranteed death sentence.
That's true, they were experts.
So running half naked into a blizzard isn't a survival tactic. It is suicide. If it was just an avalanche, why not dig out your boots once you were outside the tent?
What's fascinating here is how extreme cold radically alters brain chemistry. As the core body temperature plummets, the brain stops receiving oxygenated blood, leading to profound confusion and delirium.
So they literally weren't thinking straight anymore.
Right. And there's a physiological phenomenon known as paradoxical undressing. As you freeze to death, the muscles controlling your blood vessels become exhausted and suddenly relax.
Oh, wow. So it causes a rush of blood.
Yes, a massive rush of warm blood to the extremities. The victim suddenly feels like they are burning alive, which leads them to violently tear off their remaining clothes in the middle of a blizzard.
That is just terrifying, a cascading failure of biology. But before we move on to our next case, I want to hear from you. What is your Dyatlov pass theory? Leave a comment below so we can build a clearer picture as a community.
It's definitely one of those cases where every theory feels incomplete.
So true. So we talk about the freezing wilderness, which is hostile enough. But what completely shatters my understanding of survival is when the environment is entirely mundane and we have modern technology tracking us.
You mean how you can vanish in a snowstorm in 1959, but modern disappearances hit differently?
Exactly. Look at the Jameson family in 2009. You have a family, Bobby, Sherilyn, and their 6-year-old daughter, who just vanished in rural Oklahoma. 8 days later, their locked pickup truck is found abandoned on a dirt road.
And the evidence left behind is just staggering.
It is. Inside, investigators find their mobile phones, their GPS, and $32,000 in cash. But the detail that turns this into a nightmare is the dog. Their dog, Maisie, was found locked inside that truck for 8 days, dehydrated but alive.
And then there is the bizarre video surveillance footage from the day they left.
Right. The footage shows them loading the truck in this synchronized, slow-motion trance. They're pacing back and forth, carrying items, but barely acknowledging each other. Plus, Bobby Jameson had recently been making claims about spirits.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the Jameson case represents the ultimate modern ghost ship scenario. It actually strongly echoes the ultimate historical disappearance, the 1587 Roanoke colony.
Oh, that's a wild comparison, but I see it. The English colonists who vanished without a struggle, leaving only the word Croatoan carved into a tree.
Exactly. Both scenes leave us with a frozen tableau of a life suddenly interrupted. The stage is set, the props are left behind, but the actors have simply vaporized.
But I have to challenge that comparison. With modern technology like GPS, mobile phones left in the truck, video surveillance, shouldn't a 2009 disappearance be impossible compared to a 16th century colony vanishing?
You would think so, yes?
So how does modern tech actually make the Jameson case more baffling?
Well, when you analyze that surveillance footage alongside the psychological concepts in our sources, it makes it more terrifying, precisely because the technology was actively abandoned. Our devices are our digital umbilical cords.
They tether us to society, to emergency services.
Right. When someone walks away from their phone, their GPS, and thousands of dollars in survival capital, they are deliberately severing their connection to the world. The technology didn't fail them, they chose to leave it.
So the surveillance video doesn't solve the mystery. It just provides a high-definition window into their psychological collapse.
Exactly. It proves that despite our satellite grids and digital footprints, the human mind remains entirely unpredictable. While it is easy to write off Bobby's spirit claims as paranormal, the medical reality often points to something else.
Like folie à deux, or shared psychotic disorder.
Yes. In deep isolation, one partner's severe delusions can literally infect the other. Their realities merge. The source file suggests two major physiological catalysts for this.
Methamphetamine-induced psychosis is one of them, right?
Yes, which causes severe paranoia, repetitive motor functions like the trance-like pacing, and auditory hallucinations. However, another highly compelling theory is chronic, low-level carbon monoxide poisoning in their home.
Oh, because that slowly deprives the brain of oxygen, causing severe lethargy, memory loss, and vivid hallucinations.
Exactly. They may have been fleeing an invisible threat created entirely by hypoxic brain damage.
Wow. So are the Jamesons victims of foul play, or something supernatural. Or maybe environmental poisoning. What do you think happened here? Leave a comment below.
I'm sure people have some strong opinions on that one.
Oh, definitely. And the fact that listeners are formulating theories right now connects directly to the data we have on true crime consumption. Why are millions of people dedicating their free time to analyzing the psychological collapse of strangers?
It's a massive phenomenon, and the psychology behind it is fascinating.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The numbers from the True Crime Consumer Report are staggering. 84% of the U.S. population aged 13 and older consumes true crime content.
84% is basically everyone. It's a massive cultural pillar.
Right, with a massive concentration among 25 to 44-year-olds and a 62% female listenership. We aren't just glancing at these stories, we are consuming them ravenously.
And the psychology behind these numbers is deeply rooted in how these mysteries bypass our conscious defenses. They stir up really deep unconscious emotions.
How so?
Well, the serialized what happens next format of these cases creates a psychological hook. We crave closure, and when it is denied, like in Hinterkaifeck, it creates a permanent loop in our minds.
Oh, like the Zeigarnik effect, where the brain naturally stores incomplete tasks in active memory, burning cognitive energy until the file is closed.
Precisely. This raises an important question about why we willingly subject ourselves to that anxiety. It generates a persistent need for resolution.
It's like modern campfire ghost stories.
Yeah.
But I have to push back on the data a bit. Are we just addicted to the adrenaline, or is this our brain trying to practice surviving dangerous situations by studying these unsolved cases?
It is absolutely the latter. Evolutionary psychology refers to that as threat simulation theory. By studying worst-case scenarios, we are vicariously mapping out survival strategies.
So women who statistically face higher rates of violent victimization might subconsciously use these narratives to learn warning signs and behavioral red flags.
Exactly. It's a deeply ingrained biological defense mechanism operating under the guise of entertainment. We study the unsolved cases to find the hidden variable, the blind spot in our own survival strategies.
We're looking for the red flags so we don't end up as a mystery ourselves. But here's the wild part about living in the modern era. The window for becoming a permanent mystery is slamming shut.
It really is. The modern pursuit of closure is yielding incredible results.
Time used to be the criminal's best friend. Now, time is just giving the technology enough runway to catch up. Look at the 2023 arrest of Rex Horriman for the Gilgo Beach murders.
That case was an impenetrable black box for over a decade.
Right, but they cracked it using cell records and DNA pulled from a discarded pizza crust. Or look at forensic genetic genealogy. It finally identified Terry Peter Rasmussen's victims in the Allenstown 4 case.
The scientific leaps in forensic genetics are systematically dismantling the concept of the perfect crime. The sources highlight the 2025 identification of William Wolfgang McInnes as a prime example.
Oh right, from the degraded bones near Lake Okeechobee.
Yes. His skeletal remains sat nameless for nearly 5 years, exposed to severe environmental degradation. But a specialized lab extracted viable DNA, built a genetic profile, and erased the word unsolved from his file.
That is just incredible.
It is. And if we connect this back to Hinterkaifeck, today, the killer who lived in that attic wouldn't just be leaving footprints in the snow, they would have left a microscopic universe of DNA behind.
Skin cells, hair follicles, saliva on a spoon. So what does this all mean? When forensic genealogy inevitably solves these mysteries, does it ruin the dark mythology of the perfect crime? Or does it just prove that time is the ultimate detective?
I think it shatters the mythology entirely. The perfect crime relied entirely on the technological limitations of its era. DNA does not forget.
Time really is the ultimate detective. We have journeyed today from a bloody footprint trail in 1922 Germany, through the freezing winds of the Ural Mountains, past the eerie silence of an abandoned truck.
All the way to the modern scientific labs that are closing the books on history's ghosts.
Exactly. But I want to leave you with a final, chilling concept to mull over. With DNA-solving cases decades later, what if the Hinterkaifeck killer actually did leave a microscopic trace?
A single stray hair caught in the rough wood of a floorboard.
Yes, or a drop of sweat soaked into the fabric of the attic. What if that tiny piece of biological truth is still sitting in the dust of that dark German farmhouse right now, just waiting for someone to find it?
The evidence might still be there. The open loop is just waiting for the future to finally close it.
It just might be. Your voice matters in this investigation. What do you think happened here? Leave a comment below. Drop your ultimate theories in the comments to join the Echoed Eras community.
We want to hear all of your theories.
Absolutely. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this deep dive. We'll see you in the next one.